make a story around it.
Yeah, we did have to get rid of Jake, and it's going to be myself and Hyperia for the start of the day. The first quarterfinal in Oceania, regional number 2. Hyperia, we're going to be kicking off, and I think we'll have to look at Renegades to be performing if we want to see them, or if we want to see the results of this map.
And we see at the Twitch for all the eyes are on Renegades and Zadig as well. He's got all eyes on him as well. All 3 Renegades players surrounding him there, but he still managed to outmuscle them all. That's an impressive defensive performance as Zaid also goes into the attack. Can't quite get it though.
That was very interesting too to see how these two teams got through yesterday and ended up in this position. Third place seeding for Juiced Bandits is so strong for them. They would have been really excited to be in that position and had to wait all day to find out that they'd be up against Renegades.
It's still such an unfortunate scenario, but last week against, or not last week, but the previous regional against Riot, they also showed that they have phenomenal capabilities, and I really wonder whether Hawk, who I think is somewhat at the core of the team, if he pops off the entire team around and starts popping off as well.
I think that's super important for them, mostly because Hawk is sent to the ball. You know, he's even been called the biggest ball chaser in the region in some of those interviews. That's kind of his position here in Juiced Bandits. He was the top stats man of yesterday, the second highest goal scorer, the highest assister for his team. He is so impressive in the offense, but that also means that if Juiced Bandits want to win, he has to be doing well.
Just in general, in the goal department, Juiced Bandits have been doing amazing. 2 of them placing in the top 10, and 1 of them only barely edging out on 11th place. And this has been a quite quiet game, not quite the shooting fest that I would necessarily expect from those statistics, but I already said they're only statistics.
Well, Renegades are looking pretty relaxed, so it's okay. They're moving further back. Fever looks like he's staying further away from the ball as usual. You can't just let that go off the crossbar, Sprat. Oh, tempting fate.
He's got a lot of confidence in his reading ability. He must have just seen a new checkup and got new glasses if he reads it like that, but it works out. It works out in the end.
2020 vision from Sprat, but it's 2021, and will that be enough to take down the Renegades? It's already halfway through Hyperia, and we've seen a couple of opportunities, mostly on the Renegade side.
And the Renegades, they're moving into offense, but we all know if as soon as they win this game 1-0, it's all curtains for them. Or at least, well, if you look at yesterday, which you probably shouldn't. I'll reiterate, you probably shouldn't listen to me on this occasion.
Renegades, we've seen a couple of bumps coming out for them too, and they are one of the highest, or the second highest bumping teams, so not too much of a surprise. A good opportunity here for Hawk, and that's going to open it up. Juiced Bandits all the way back in their own defense.
This is always unfortunate to see when they have such a strong attack or such a good shot. They get saved and they aren't able to sustain any pressure. And Renegades, they are able to sustain pressure. Have been in the attack for a decent while now, so let's see what Fever can actually do. Tries to get it back, but that's an awkward pass. CJ not quite getting the touch on it either. It's a big boomer towards Kami, who does end up reading it. Will 5 boost. Is also going to struggle to clear it away.
Chance here for Juiced Bandits though. Hawk right in front of goal, looking for the double. It's still awkward here for the Renegades. CJ is actually going to fake out the wall play, and that gives some room. Even still, Sprat keeping on the pressure, and Juiced Bandits now have their first opportunity.
Let's see what you can do. Can't get it past. Still into the corner. A bit of sustained pressure from the side of Juiced Bandits. Hawk backflips it over, but that won't be getting much else out of that occasion. Kami down the other end now uses the wall to his advantage, but it's Hawk with the clear away, or at least attempt to clear away.
I saw how good Renegades there were getting out of defense. Even though they're under pressure, they're running out of boost, they still go into that pass position. A couple of demos from Juiced Bandits is still threatening the Renegades defense. And 40 seconds left to go. We're in golden goal territory.
You're certainly in golden goal territory, and that means it is scary for Juiced Bandits with Renegades continuously moving into the attack. Yes, another one's kickstarted for Renegades, but a boomer across the top. That's a loose touch out of Fever. Has to try and recover that with a 50, and this is still so scary for either side.
Oh, good read and the demo at the same time. Juiced Bandits taking out a lot of the threats of Renegades with their cars physically. 10 seconds left to go. Fever trying one more time for the goal.
Go into the box, it goes, but Hawk with the clear away. Good pace on it. Now the counter-attack will be tough with 0 boost in the tank for Hawk, and indeed, it will get stopped right at the midfield line. Is that going on target? No, Zadegan's very much reading that we have game 1 overtime.
0-all. We've seen a few of these, and in fact, Renegades yesterday went into 2 overtimes in that final series of the day up against Rubber Duckies. They managed to prevail in that one, but this is the quarterfinals. This is where your nerves will be tested.
Hawk, that's a bit nervous from Zayd. Big boomer. A bit too much for Hawk to try and attempt that. Kami gets it on the backboard. Zayd pops it down. Hawk tries to cut in rotation, but as Sprat had actually a decent line towards goal. But actually, Juice Bandits, they've been the attacking team in this overtime.
Surprising to see so many demos go in Juice Bandits' way as well, because usually it's Renegades who are getting the most demos. Zayd goes for another one. That's going to be awkward. But Hawk can't dunk CJ into the net. Well played by the defender.
To dunk CJ into the net, you thought it had so much power on that ball, but CJ, he's frazzled a bit. Sprat pinches it on the side, and we'll be right into CJ. Renegades to go down the other end. Sprat needs to get a touch, even though it's an awkward one. Leaves it to Zayd, and that will do the job just the same. Another chance here for the Renegades as Fever will have the backboard. Shut down again by Hawk. It feels like Juice Bandits know what Renegades are about to deliver and haven't been able to get a chance, Renegades. Although CJ puts on in, Sprat gets the save, another chance. It goes high. It goes high, and against Juice Bandits, you're never really safe. That's the problem. Renegades, they can be into the attack. We've seen these quick conversions out of Bandits already. They've not quite made it work to the fullest, but a demo could open up the back end here. Another chance. Hawk doesn't go for the shot instead. Maybe playing a little bit more safe, as it is this overtime. A double commit from Renegades, and this is going to leave CJ in that awkward spot all the way back. Another clear here by Juice Bandits. Gives actually a counter-attacking opportunity from Renegades if Juice Bandits go too hard on this one. This is open. Zayd gets bumped away in midair. This kind of feels like first game jitter. Both these teams getting bigger boinkers across the top to really try and mitigate any defensive errors that might be popping up. As Hawk, can he go for the flip reset? Just go for the acceleration instead, but can't quite get the second tap. Gotta trust that Hawk will get the flip reset. That's why Renegades go out to that one early. Starting to get very long in this overtime, and that, I think, favors Juice Bandits at some point, because they were the ones who started out slow and seem to be building from here. They're building up momentum, they're building confidence as Zayd pops it out wide. Can't get the second tap, but that ball from Fever will easily be picked up by Hawk, not unless he goes incredibly slow, which he did. Fever still to the backboard, but that should be the end of the attack. That was a massive pre-jump from Fever too. He was up so early from the other side. That's confidence, but obviously not going to work out too often for Renegades. It's a sign of frustration. Interesting pass by Zayd there as well. Had an open net, but Fever now going up for the shot. He dunks it down. Renegades win game 1. Oh, you just know as soon as he gets this first touch past Hawk, he's always going to score it. Renegades coming out with one huge play from the start. If Fever wasn't there, CJ would be there as well. Both the players being incredibly tight on that double tap. And, well, that's exactly what Renegades do have to do. Even though they had a lot of attack, they didn't quite make it work that smooth. I think this was so important for Renegades. Juice Bandits, first 2 minutes, basically felt to me like they were holding on. Renegades kept making opportunities, they were pushing them, and then all of a sudden, Juice Bandits start bringing out those demos and go crazy. You see 10 demos on the scoreboard. That's when Renegades started to look a bit more shaky and beatable in the defense. Demos are such an intricate thing, as we do see the replays here, but you really have to know when to exactly go for them. Otherwise, you're only putting yourself out of position. There was, that could have been the end of the game right there, basically. But Renegades, I will give them credit. Something that we called them out for when they made that championship run was they've really worked on their defense. And it feels like that's still true. They look pretty solid all throughout, and it was more the fact that Juice Bandits kept finding demos that ever made Renegades look shaky. I think it's pretty much, you also see that in APAC now that they've just started up, and they're starting to focus on that more and more now, is the importance of defense. Attack is all mechanics, you can all teach that, but defense is majority of being in the correct position at the correct time.
And the comms, being able to play under pressure. Too many teams and newer teams will panic under defense. And in fact, Juice Bandits in the past have been the ones that have panicked the most. In fact, I talked to Zaid during the week, and he was saying that his opponents were forcing him to panic by putting them into defense. So that's maybe where Renegades will be able to take advantage in this game too. Or if Juice Bandits can stay solid, they could bring it back. Goal number one. Kami finds top corner.
Just an awkward kickoff here from the get-go. It was awkward for Juice Bandits, and they weren't able to recover. Hawk tried to take his time, but with Kami lurking in the midfield and CJ right in your behind, you just can't take any time.
I did not expect that goal whatsoever. Hawk seemed very confident in dribbling that one out. Car communication very key. Looked like he was going to be ready to go, but that's where CJ comes in clutch. Always coming out of those off angles and getting the bumps.
It's such a nuisance play as he takes it to the corner. Once again, goes the odd line. Instead of trying to go straight for net, he tries to extend the attack. Sure, it doesn't work, but at least it's a good intention. It's a good setup and a good attempt.
Still haven't seen CJ be hugely impactful in the offense. And even yesterday when they were having what was their rough day, he was still scoring left, right, and center. Feels like fever right now, pushing up forward. CJ misses. Kami just gets the touch, and I think that saved their bacon.
Just in general, CJ's qualifying runs for this top 8, so basically the Swiss stage for top 16, he almost always is up in the air more than 50% of the time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see CJ play so aggressively, but it is nothing new to that OCE region. I think just Renegades have figured out how to make that work as a trio. They know how much CJ will be aggressive, so Fever plays a lot more defensive, and it works out for them.
And for Renegades being up 1-0, this seems like a lot messier of a series for Bandits. They can't quite break out. They have a few awkward touches. They're only just starting to get things together as Hawk to go to the center and choose Bandits. They need something like momentum.
Strong passing play, but in the end, it's just used to try and outpace Renegades. And this is the man we're looking for. Hawk, always so solid. Second highest goal scorer alongside Zaid of yesterday. So they had a great day. We have an offensive duo, and we haven't been able to find any openings because they're just trying to outpace members on Renegades at the moment.
What a pass that is, and Hawk actually there to finish it off. Slopes the bottom left corner, but scratched his short. Look at this pass.
That's great. Hitting the roof, and CJ, he's missed it off the backboard, misread where that would bounce, and an opening here for Juice Bandits. First goal for them in the series.
Get there first, and well, that could certainly propel them into the rest of this game. Obviously, still plenty of time left, and Renegades, they're not going to falter easily. And Fever up to the skies, Dave, with an early challenge. So the Fever is passing. You need to be getting this before it double taps. And oh my word, I guess the presence of Sprat was enough.
He was very desperate to get a low angle on that Fever, which made the shot harder. Now Renegades find themselves in their own defensive half, looking for those traditional defensive passes that they always go for. Now a chance here for CJ as he goes up, has the goal in front of him, gets the extra touch too of Sprat. Now Juice Bandits, they're in a good position here with this tied up game to be more confident in that offensive half.
They at least have something to go off on. They know that they can break through, and that's the most important part. But Fever, he knows he can break through as well, and goes for the ground shot. The ground paint shot. Another shot will ring through CJ to the backboard. Does he have boost and recovery? Yes, he very much will. Off the post and in.
I don't know what you do here if you're Bandits. So many balls, each one's meant to be a shot, each one hits the backboard, and CJ, godsend that he was able to have enough boost to get to that one.
I think you get on your knees and you pray to the Rocket League gods for a quick second, and well, it didn't work out this time, but they still have 2 minutes. But CJ taking it to the skies. That's the scary side. Takes it past Sprat, but not unscathed.
At least when you have CJ coming in, you're not as threatened as if it's Fever, who has set up so many goals for Renegades since he has joined. CJ, though, this is the dangerous position when he's hanging on the corners, when he's getting into awkward spots, when he's bumping Sprat out so that he can't make plays as well.
Series like this are always so important for Renegades because, of course, they have that rivalry with Ground Zero, something they talked about in the interview. If you lose against Juice Bandits here, that just invites extra memes, and extra memes, they're always scary, so Renegades, they will put in another one to bed.
That's a great goal as well, and we're starting to see that they're able to read where Juice Bandits are trying to hit the ball. We're always seeing a second player on Renegades in a position to deal with that first Juice Bandits touch.
All I'm saying here, Yomi, we've got 1 minute 16 remaining. It's 1-3. 1-0 was the score of the first game. Renegades best not put 2 back in the net.
Oh, no.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, you're just so... Oh my goodness. Actually, I thought that was going to be a goal, but in the end, Renegades managed to hold it out. As you were saying before too, Renegades is not just about pride or anything here. A 5th to 8th place undoes all the work they did to get that first place, and Hawk is trying to undo that work. With 50 seconds left to go, they bring it to 1.
And bring the differential to 1, and Renegades, they surely are a bit scared right now. And they have to be 48 seconds, and Juice Bandits, they always seem to ease into the game and get stronger as time goes on. As we have kickoff once again, Juice Bandits, they need another one.
CJ will be trying to get the second goal for the Renegades. They're looking for the major. They already got the win. They're working for at least a top 4, preferably a top 2, in order to keep their spot at the top of OCE in this. Juice Bandits on the reverse, almost find it past Kami.
That's the major thing as well. Nice, the major thing.
Got him.
It's you want to be the one to represent your region and show up at the major and absolutely wreak havoc, but you first have to get past this Hawk with a shot, but Kami avoids the bump and gets the clear.
That was crazy from Kami. Next level avoidance play that may have kept Renegades in the lead all the way through this game. It might be a game winner, especially with Hawk backflipping and a double commit coming out from Juice Bandits. That's got to be it. It doesn't touch the ground as Hawk does manage to stay clutch underneath the ball. Another chance here from Kami. Almost clutches it. It gets the ball to the ground and Renegades go up 2-0.
Go up 2-0. Renegades, they're looking strong. But Bandits, it's just unfortunate to see that pretty much every single time they're only starting to get into the series, get some offensive plays once it's a bit too late.
It's very interesting to see with Juice Bandits. They didn't go for the demos in this game, and I felt that was what was so successful in that game 1. That's when they looked the sharpest. They gave a lot more control to Renegades in this one. I felt like that makes Renegades even more comfortable as well.
They're just able to suffocate you at that point. If you give them control, they know exactly how to play and how to adapt to that strategy. So I think Bandits, they're going to have to win this on speed almost.
I don't think even Juice Bandits look bad too. I mean, they're playing pretty solid all around. Hawk has been really, really strong in his offensive striking at least. He's scored every goal that he should have, and yet they just haven't been able to create enough opportunities. They've spent too much time in the defense.
The defense is a decent part, but also when Renegades, they think in the future. They don't go for the shot initially, or, well, maybe they do attempt to, but they don't manage to either way. It still comes down to the same where Juice Bandits go for the save, miss it because it was off target, and then Renegades score.
I thought Hawk was always in a good position to score at the same time. Probably going to be disappointed overall that they let in 3 goals as well. Some of the goals coming out from Renegades were a bit scrappier than we'd normally see. Maybe mostly because I feel like I'm expecting Fever to get next level montage, top of OCE type goals.
he just plays in this to start a clip reel, and that's his only objective here.
Fever is also finding his own teammate, but Kami, just like yesterday, struggling to receive these passes a little bit. That may come to haunt him again as the ghost of those 2 reverse sweeps are inside of his head, surely.
Pops up, Fade goes for the shot, but it's just a bit weak, and Juice Bandits, for those kind of shots, for those kind of scenarios, or like a bit more aggression, a bit more power, just go for the shot directly instead of a controlling touch. Sade, once again up to the play, takes a controlling touch, but you have time, and Sprat just gives it away.
Oh, good breakaway here from CJ too. He doesn't have the boost, but he even manages to get the 50. That's going to keep the Juice Bandits defense sprawling into position. CJ gets a shot. It goes wide as well. And that's actually a 1v1 play now for Sprat. He goes for the flick, maybe the pass play, but well defended out by Renegades once again. They've turned it into a counterattack of their own. And this time Hawk makes the save at the other end.
1v2 scenario for Hawk, and that's not something he hasn't done before. He only needs to get past one, but Fever has a good block on it. I think CJ rotated back in time as well. Sprat still into the box, whips it up, but there's nobody there to try and capitalize, and Renegades break out.
You can see that even when Fever's up there, they're expecting him to get that solo play. Oh, the shot was so good, but just hits the post. And Renegades still looking threatening, but it feels so much more end-to-end now.
And Juice Bandits, they're actually starting to get the mechanics slower, but you don't have the necessity for mechanics if you have an open net.
That was so wide open. Sprat had pushed up. He had ultimate faith, expecting that Zaid was the biggest player in OC, and I know he's hit the gym, but there is no chance he was going to get that forward.
Sometimes you only start off in the gym as well. Like, you've got a few toned muscles, but that's not enough to break through the Renegades who have been on the outback the entire time. Sprat pops it down, and that's not where you want it to be in the box of his own goal. Fever still up for it, but backs down.
Oh, CJ,
no.
He's always going to turn on that one, and he's surprised Juice Bandits here. His second goal, a little bit more scrappy than we would have hoped.
And there was boost in the tank for Sprat as well. He just plainly didn't use it. Simple as that. And against Renegades, you can't be pulling off plays like that. You know CJ will be lurking.
I think he was caught off guard. I don't think he expects CJ to cut, but he is called the Scissor Man for a reason. He cuts everything. His poor teammates barely get a chance on the ball, so it shouldn't have come at any surprise for him.
CJ up to the play here, back in defense. Hawk tries to force it through too, but Fever, oh, he's strong. He's been in the gym as well. Sprat finally manages to dispossess, still gets it through, but this is really kind of the problem. They're not breaking through enough, and it's Renegades to score.
Juice Bandits there looking really, really desperate. Look how much they push up for that one. They were never going to win the race to that, leaving their net wide open as well, and that's where Renegades are very, very deadly.
It's a bit difficult for Bandits here as well, since they get a good 50, but nobody's there, and then they arrive too late. And they actually have faith in the 50, and that's where Renegades do dominate. So it's a bit of a guessing game, and Renegades are doing that incredibly well to switch it up every single time.
I still feel pretty rough for Juiced Bandits. They were expecting you know, maybe Dire Wolves or Fokin in that first round of the matchup, and it just seems that Renegades, they've turned it back on today. They're looking a lot cleaner. They're looking a lot more ready to score as well. And there could have been another one, but thankfully for Juiced Bandits, it does go off the crossbar.
Well, here's another shot then. Fever denied by Hawk, but Fever, can he get this angle? No, he just goes for the pass back in CJ. Incredibly smart and just locks it up.
Yeah, you know that they've got such good communication, that they trust each other when Fever's just going to hang there on the backboard. Be willing to pass it back too. And only 2 minutes left. Juiced Bandits, this is looking bad.
This is looking terrible. I think the main thing that you can gauge off of this, or that you can word for Bandits, is that Renegades have been swept twice in that initial day, but that's not a lot to go off of.
There's only been 7 best-of-7 reverse sweeps in RLCS history. I guess this could be number 8. We've always seen it happen, and especially the way that this weekend seems to be going, with 2 reverse sweeps before, with Alki losing their first ever RLCS series in APAC South. It has been the upsets. I just don't quite see it happening.
I think they can write off this game, go on to the next, but they still need to keep on trying, have a calm chat through with what is going wrong. And personally, I think what's going wrong is they're not breaking out efficiently enough. Also like this, like CJ just catches it and puts it right back in.
People also tend to forget what they were doing in game 1, because it is such a mental game too. You actually don't have that kind of vision to know what you were doing successfully before. They're missing the demo plays that were so prevalent early on, and that's just making Renegades have so much more control of the midfield.
In this kind of scenario, you can't give that control against such an experienced team. The Bandits,
not against Fever.
Absolutely, that's the thing. The Bandits, they're strong, but they need to kind of pop off, and Hawk has been relatively quiet.
That's very surprising too. I mean, Hawk, we know he can bring out the mechanics. We'll know he's very fast at the same time and usually sets up a lot of good passes over to Zaid, but he hasn't been able to find them today. Be interesting to see, but the thing that I usually actually look for with Juice Bandits is Sprat. I actually think he is incredible in the offense. He's got good flip reset mechanics and aerial-based mechanics too that open up the net, but he hasn't felt like he's ever in the right position to be able to go forward.
It's usually because Hawk is up forward. And that's also could be something with people expect Hawk to be forward, so Sprat it kind of takes a step back.
I think he does that all around as well. I mean, Hawk likes going for the diving saves too, and it does create this position where, all right, Fever, always playing up for the camera. CJ's having a laugh about it too. He's probably seeing Fever in. Just keep the blood up, keep the stretches going. I think everybody should be doing this. Maybe Coach Lockie is telling them what to do.
I feel like Walcott is heavy on this as well. Goes for the stretches, has the towel, most prepared player in OCE probably. Yeah. But it doesn't quite matter since Renegades at this moment, they're up 3-0.
I'm going to assume, by the way, as a Dutchman, you know everything about Jesse. What's with the towel? You know, they need towels to dry their hair. Surely they're not that sweaty.
Honestly, we Dutchmen, we have a very humid climate, so what happens then is our hands get incredibly, like, I am dripping buckets right now as well. You don't see it, but my hands are wrapped in a towel.
Oh, beautiful. Well, we're down in Australia, and today at least is a cool day, and these guys are cooling down a little bit too. We've got a bit of a timeout called here for Juice Bandits. I always say, why wait till game 3 is done? They should have done it, in my opinion, after game number 2, but I guess late is better than never.
I guess at some point, it's always a tough one, because it's somewhat that scenario where after game 2, it feels too early, and after game 3, it just feels too late. You kind of want to pause mid-game.
I imagine if you could. And also I would have said that after game 2, they probably felt really comfortable and confident. The first 2 games were 1-goal games in the end, but even still, just being able to reset your opponents is the most valuable part of going for these timeouts.
Something in the back of my mind went to making a scenario, making a story of Renegades, and surely it's in the back of their head that they have been reverse swept a decent amount of time yesterday. But I think the experience out of them completely mitigates that.
You know, CJ is one of those players who has been reverse swept in a best of 7, and that was in a Worlds qualifying match back in RLCS Season 7. So he'll definitely have it in his mind, but after yesterday, it felt like they brought it back. Rubber duckies, close couple of games, and yet they still didn't get reverse swept there. So I'm not expecting it here with Juice Bandits either.
This opening phase for Bandits will be essential for their attempted comeback. At least Hawk into Sprat, but Sprat backflips out of it. Now it's Zayda in a 1v2 scenario, and the bump is coming through, and Fever actually steals it.
He needs to keep his top goal scorer stats. He's already averaging over 1.3, which is tremendous, and he's going to get a little bit more there off Kami. They're having a laugh about it too.
Of course. In this scenario, you're feeling confident, and as weird as it might sound, Bandits, they should be the ones laughing as well. They should be trying to have fun with it. Even if they lose, that's something you can gain from this series. That's just absolutely the opposite of what you want to be seeing.
If you want a little blast from the past too, that type of dribble where you don't flick it, you just do a little double jump. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Why?
Oh no, I already, Sprat. You commended his mechanics as well, and I think in that scenario, it's quite the opposite.
Hey, I commended his mechanics in offense. I didn't say anything about his defense, so I'm still off the hook, because that's where I feel like he's weakest. He panics and he plays a little bit too hesitant in the defense.
I mean, I'm in a terrible position here with my prediction. But Juice Bandits, they seem flustered. They seem also this touch out of Zayd. It doesn't lead to a goal directly, but it could set up a prolonged offense for Renegades.
Oh, there we have Sprat faking out one, but CJ was ready to play off it. So You see the attempts coming out from Sprad and now a breakaway from Juice Bandits. They're not giving up with this 2-goal deficit in the game 4.
Oh, that's such a great bomb, but they didn't commit. And Bandits, they seem communicative, but not quite to the level that you need to be to take down Renegades.
It would be really harsh for them to get 4-0. They look so good in the first couple of games. They could have taken either one of them, and now it is getting very, very difficult for them to even get this one. A good flick? No, Fever will be able to defend that, as his shadowing playstyle really helps against the flicks.
It's really a game of millimeters. Fever drove to the left side just a tiny bit, literally just a nudge, directly turned around. That was enough for Sprat to pull the trigger on the right-hand side of the goal. Fever had it covered. Phenomenal defense, even though it might seem so simple. These balls have a lot of power behind them.
Oh, this should be a goal. A miss, and Hawk will find an opening. It continues to show Hawk on the scoreboard.
Okay, well, this is a miss. This is a moment of failure for Renegades, something they're not too familiar with. Let's hope for them it doesn't send them in a downward spiral.
I think what's interesting is that normally I would say Kami is maybe not even the most consistent player on Renegades, but the most consistent player in the region. And both yesterday and today, we've seen some really odd misses from him. Today in this match, we've seen a missed pass and that misplay in the rear as well. Yesterday, we saw multiple misses on passes to him. I'm starting to worry.
To worry a bit here for the Renegades defense as well, and when Hawk is up to the skies, but they managed to deal with him for now. Kami into the center. CJ looked for the hit, but only gets it after it is past him. Hawk all the way in the defense. Will be hard to start up an attack from there.
They're really grinding it down in this corner, and that's not good for Juice Bandits. Always going to be hard to score, and Hawk went for the fake. This is open. Fever goes for the slow play, try to fake underneath, but it doesn't catch him off guard.
That was such an awkward line of play for both sides, but it still lands in the center. Choose Bandits. Zadigans tries to go for the low tap, doesn't have the boost to set up a double tap, and would he have loved to have some boost in the tank there.
Amazing how much Fever backs himself to make the save no matter what. It's working out. For the most part, Renegades have been able to stave off the last few attacks, all because of Fever. They might get a pinch in their net, though, and if that was on target, very difficult for CJ to reach.
Hawk and Sprat double commit, and that's a sight you don't like seeing, but have been seen a decent amount of times as Kami puts it up by CJ. Already up to it, but incredible speed out of Sprat in the defense. And Juice Bandits, they still have one left to go, but they're hunting for it.
Oh, good play as well out from Kami. Just the double touch off the backboard. Big bump, and CJ will finish it off. This is another 2-goal lead for Renegades.
And this kind of touch for Hawk just kind of delays the inevitable, and then Zayd actually getting bumped. Wait, did Zayd get bumped into Hawk?
It almost looked like he just purposely did it. He drove straight into the net and took Hawk out. First it was Sprat with the accidental touch backwards. Now Zayd is also going for that play.
Oh.
Okay. Kickoff goal here for Juice Bandits, keeps him in it.
Absolutely. Well, they go a bit upset that they got bumped out of the way, so Sprat decides to return the favor to CJ. CJ in this play. And a minute, it should still be plenty of time.
It is tons of time, but of course, it's not just about this game, it's about the reverse sweep. And I would hope for them that at least want to get a 4-1. If they were to lose, they'd get at least one game of the board. There's a very big difference between getting swept and at least showing on the scoreboard that you'll get that chance to win. 45 seconds left, and at least in the attack a little bit here.
Well, Renegades are in the attack as well. Ringer of the crossbar. Zayd gets a pinch with it. Time just keeps on ticking, of course, as the time it does. Hawk with a good 50 through, sends it to the back, but with Renegades, you see them posing up in defense, and that's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Chance again for Renegades to get the 2-goal lead and really clinch out the series. Looking pretty confident at the moment, but Juice Bandits, the last hurrah, the last charge of the Rohirrim, but they cannot get it forward. Renegades always holding that midline.
Here it lands into the edge of the box. Fever with a shot, and that will bury the game nice and deep for Renegades, unless somehow Bandits can pull off something that I don't think has ever been done before.
Great to see Fever as well, getting another goal, putting one on, and I didn't expect this to be a 4-0. I expected Juice Bandits to get 1 or even 2 in this series, even though I did predict Renegades.
I did expect them to do better, of course, since I predicted them to win. But Renegades, they just played up the consistency. Yeah, just a bit.
Renegades, they go through. They're into the semi-final, and this is a very strong position towards that Sweden major and another chance at the grand finals.
See CJ. Oh, he's pumped up, but a low-key pump.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we got that, but hey, I'm staying cool.
It just felt like Renegades are trying to play a bit more cool than they used to. Not so overhyped, a bit more relaxed. In fact, CJ and Kami, known for their kind of like almost scream methodology of hyping themselves up and hyping their teammates. Fever, I feel like, enjoys playing really calm and not celebrating too much on anything. So they're probably matching his energy more.
Absolutely. And then talking about his screamer, what a beautiful man just joined. Hello, Jake. Welcome back.
Hey, Iferia. How'd you enjoy watching that series? Seeing your prediction kind of go up in flames.
I'm used to it at this point. I always try and go for a play that could happen or a prediction that could happen, but in the end, it always goes the wrong way.
I mean, yeah, I heard you say, Fever is pretty chill, and he is definitely a character on the camera, though. Yeah. Always very funny to watch. That felt more like the Renegades, at least we were used to after watching Regional 1. Really just calm, collected, and taking that out 4-0, very dominant, and not really giving Juice Bandits any room in the series.
They looked much better. There were still moments like that one from Kami and like the other one from Kami, but equally we had some mistakes coming out from Juice Bandits. Maybe just a hard day for Rocket League, and maybe no warm-ups for these guys.
Now, Hypera, they did actually start this series with the 1-0 victory. They were able to hold it into Game 4. How do you feel like that stat is going to affect Renegades into the semis now?
Well, if you look at the third game, and specifically 2-minute 32, there was a play right there where CJ went to the ball, and that's going to predict a reverse sweep in the grand finals.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, honestly, Renegades looking very just mechanically on point, rotationally on point, and very reminiscent of that final day, last regional.
We've also been seeing this a lot more since the off-season from the Renegades. You don't need every player to step up. We had Fever in this series playing really well. Obviously, in the last event, we kept seeing CJ topping the scoreboard. And Kami doesn't usually have a big day, but he doesn't usually have a bad day. He's there enabling so much of his team.
That's always so important. Everybody always looks at that pop-off player, but sometimes in order for a player to pop off, they need to get a kind of an allowance from their own team to say, hey, you go for the ball, you be a monkey, and you do your thing.
We'll see actually whether the monkey has any words to say about it. Fever, coming and joining us, having a bit of fun with these ones, I see, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Oh, it was an interesting series, I will tell you.
Yeah. Much better than yesterday. I'm expecting that you weren't happy with yesterday's performance.
Yesterday was a bit interesting as well. I mean, we got reverse swept twice. Is that a record or something? But yeah, I think the mentality is a lot better, because I think the downfall of us was, I guess we were looking too much into the future and not focusing on this event and focusing on ourselves. So I think coming in today, we had a chat last night as well. So I think fresh new mindset into today and tomorrow, and hopefully we play better.
How do you mentally reset? How do you go from being reverse swept twice to being strong mentally again?
I think our coach Lockie has like quite a bit of input on that. You know, he does a lot off the field. So when we did end up in, I think it was 6th seed for today, we knew we were still in a good position, but we could have played better. And I think Lockie then brought us together to talk about what we did good, what we did bad. Not looking ahead, but focusing on ourselves in this event. And I think that just helps us as well focus a little bit more on what we're doing in the game.
And then you have Riot Gaming and Bliss going up next. How do you think that matchup will go? And are you kind of hoping Riot Gaming comes through so you can get some revenge on them?
Well, obviously I'd prefer Bliss, I think. But I think our loss against Riot, there was a lot of mistakes that we did. So I think definitely revenge is, we're out for revenge, definitely. But I think we're fine with either team. We're just happy we got the top 4 this event, I think.
Also, Thieves, the stretching. You know, is that actually something you're doing on purpose, or you just having a bit of a laugh?
Okay, don't take this the wrong way, but I was falling asleep a little bit. So, I mean...
Okay.
I don't know.
Don't take this the wrong way.
Don't take this the wrong
Hopefully
way.
get some coffee in you and enjoy the rest of the night. You get to watch, I guess, the rest of the series, and once again, congratulations on another top 4.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Renegades move on, and again, they're on the march to the major. And it's interesting to hear Fever say they were looking too far forward. I feel like that means they were looking at what do we do internationally, and it is way too early for that. This is the event that is going to start proving teams at the major.
Yeah, I guess maybe they just weren't feeling like focused yesterday, or you know, after their last performance, it's hard to blame them to just think they would have easily swept through the Swiss bracket. So maybe just you know, not showing up with the same intensity they really needed to win.
That'll be interesting to see how they go tomorrow, but we still have plenty of matches to come. Coming up next, Ground Zero versus Bros on their toes. Stay tuned.